Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is the last paid request from Masi. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below, or maybe it's over there now. It's in the info box. PayPal is usually the best bet, or well, I mean, it's there or there, if you wish to, of course. But anyway, I'm babbling. Babylon AD here. So, Masi wanted me to look into the horror films of 2024 so far and my thoughts on them. And the person says that they think this is a golden year in horror films in as many years. Others agree. We think it's at least one of the best. How do you feel? Confused. Mozzie and you, I don't know who the others that agree. I don't know if there's names. I want them. I want their names. Give me a name. Isn't that what your parents supposed to do? No, give me a name. I want these names. I want these dates. I want your ass. Who the hell you think you are? Nah, I'm just kidding. But I mean, if you sincerely think that way, teach their own. I 100% disagree. I just don't see... feel free to comment your reasons for saying that. I think this is a lame, horrible, terrible year for horror. One of the best in many years. No, I think last year was better. I would say last year was better. And the year before. Because I wrote down horror films that I've seen, to be honest, to be fair, and I'm going to go through them. And I see in the future, I don't see much in terms of it getting a whole lot better. Because stuff coming out is what? We got supposedly Chris Stuckman, the YouTuber, is making a horror film. I don't really have high hope for that. Alien Romulus, which I saw the trailer and it looked generic. I would just leave it at that because I could go on a 20-minute thing on it. I mean, Beetlejuice is not horror, Beetlejuice 2, but that looked lame as hell too. I don't even know what other horror... Maxine, don't know. Trailer wasn't bad, to be fair. But I was not a fan of X. So, but trailer for Maxine wasn't bad. Lady Frankenstein I didn't see, but it looked pretty lame to me. I wrote down the horror films I saw. Arcadian, Abigail, Night Swim, Here for Blood, The First Omen, Late Night with the Devil, Sting, not the wrestler, and Fraud Man. And when the best horror movie I've seen this year was Fraud Man, that's sad. That's sad. Emoji, sad face. Because I looked through these films, and okay, again, one of the best, again, many others agree. Who are the many others? Who? Night Swim. A Blumhouse, blumpin' fuck movie about a haunted swimming pool. Kurt Russell's son stars in it, and the swimming pool's haunted, and then it's like trying to be a wannabe Amityville horror where the dad gets possessed, and and this guy is honed in on baseball, and nothing really much is happening, and things get lost in the swimming pool, and beware of the swimming pool, and be careful of the swimming pool, it might be too much chlorine in it. It's a haunted swimming pool that maybe could work as a 10-minute short film, maybe. Not as a full-length feature. And it started as a short film that lasted like, I don't know, 40 seconds. Maybe a minute. But somehow that was good enough to make a full-length movie. So that film sucked. Arcadian with Nicolas Cage. The monsters could be an interesting design, unique, but at the same time, the stuff they do, it felt like it was just everything in the kitchen sink. Where they could be like, but like quicker. And I don't know how the hell they. And then they get into a ball like they're the critter ball from Critters 2. The two brothers who are Nicolas Cage's sons. One is a dickweed, and one is meh. Nicolas Cage, he's on the front, but he's not in the film as much as you would think. And I like Nicolas Cage. For the first 23 minutes he's in it, but then he gets immobilized and he's gone for almost the rest of the movie. He pops up for a couple minutes, boom, done. And I'm like, great, I gotta follow these characters I don't care about. And they're the type of films you've seen, whether it be not exactly it, but a Quiet Place, or It Comes at Night, or where terrible stuff has happened, so people are in the middle of nowhere, locked up, and they have this ritual that they do to lock everything up, and something's slamming on the door. Seen this done so many times that just feels routine. And the only unique thing is the monster, but it felt like they just tried to do too much. It was too much that just becomes more ridiculous than anything, and it's pretty much all done in CGI. So I don't think that was a good movie. Abigail, I thought was a lame, lackluster flick that it's about a vampire ballerina girl trapped in a mansion with some criminals. There's your movie. We're introduced to a group of actors that... Why should I care about the characters? You have the lead girl who's in Scream 5 and 6, and she sucked ass in those movies, and she sucked ass in this movie. She sucked in those, she sucked in this. I got more emotion out of this bottle of water that could stick up my butt. My ass. And have more of a jolt that I get from any of her performances. Melissa Gorilla Barilla, whatever the hell her name is. Didn't do jack for me. Didn't give a crap about her. Dan Stevens, I liked him as an actor. He tried. But I mean, he's playing a prick, but he's playing a prick fairly well. So I'm not supposed to like him, but he's like the most interesting person. I found out later that the actor who's like the driver of the group, apparently he was really bad in the drugs, and he passed away soon after. Man, if that's the case, then I don't know how they were on set and looked at that performance and said, yes, keep him in the film and let him keep performing. Or I guess they thought he was method. He was too good. But I mean, it just, now it's just more sad, that performance, if that's the case. And people you don't really care about, trapped in a house, a mansion with a little ballerina vampire that does stupid poses. And that's for me. It's just, that's what it is for, I don't know, 2 hours or so. And you kind of sit there going, okay, is something else going to happen? No. It's only a couple people. And it feels very bogged down. It takes a while for it to get going. And it's lazy writing. There's literally a scene where the movie stops for the lead character to go to each person and goes, I can read people well. You're this. And you're this type of person. And you had this job. You used to be a cop. You're like... There's a little bit of gore, but I mean, you can watch that in From Dusk Till Dawn, the original Fright Night. There's not much in terms of uniqueness or creativity or fun. It wasn't a fun movie or a scary movie, so Abigail sucked. Night Swim sucked. Night Swim, Abigail, Artanian, I think they all sucked. The first Omen I just reviewed is probably better than those I mentioned, but it's very forgettable, bland. It doesn't hone in on the actual prequel aspects of the Omen because it changes lore. Because Damien's mom was a jackal, but no, instead the mom is a person, and the dad was this hybrid werewolf jackal thing. And then it goes on for 2 hours where there's a lack of scares, there's a lack of thrills or suspense or tension. Couple of the deaths, including the first one at the very beginning, almost made me laugh. It has some decent acting, alright cinematography at times, but not enough to save that film. It's very... I would love to meet the people that would buy the first Omen and rewatch that film over and over again. Because I'm like, okay, cool, you liked it. What do you like about the film so much that you don't rewatch the film over and over again? It's a pointless movie. Very pointless. But I just reviewed that, so I won't go too much into it. And then Late Night with the Devil. Late Night with the Devil was okay. It was okay. But just okay. Would I ever see the film again? No. I like the setup, where it's going to be a found footage about these tapes that were found, of this talk show, the 1970s, where Halloween Sweeps Week, we're going to talk with someone who survived this massacre and says she knows a ghost that could be possessed or whatever. Inspired by Ghost Watch back in the day, that film. But the setup is cool with Michael Ironside narrating the life story of our lead character. The lead guy did not mind him. He was Polka Dot Man in the James Gunn Suicide Squad movie, the last one they did. He gave a solid performance. The setup, I should say, the setup I didn't mind. But once they set things up, it was an interesting 15-20 minutes, and then the movie just petered off. They didn't really do a whole lot throughout the rest of the film. They threw in really bad special effects. People spin up stuff, and it's digital, shooting lightning out of their hands, as if the Lord Raiden, with bad CGI. But it's supposed to be a 1970s, 1977 talk show. But then you see these digital effects that look like straight out of streaming nowadays, that did not look that good. Her head becomes a light bulb with bad effects, which was laughable. And then they don't even stick to their format. They break their own rules. These are about the tapes, and we'll look at the tapes they find. But then they realized, oh, snap, crackle, and pop. This found footage angle, we're going to be limited to what we could do. Damn, how do we change that? Well, we don't show behind the scenes. How are we going to show behind the scenes? Back in the day, they couldn't do a whole lot of that because these cameras about the size of a damn Buick. You don't roll them around and no one's going to notice this big honking thing is right in front. No, just film it like a regular movie nowadays. But put it in black and white. So is that found footage? No, this part won't be. But then that part will be. It's the tape. But then this part won't. But then that part will. But then that part won't. And I'm like, then why didn't you just make an actual film? Why does it have to be the tapes? Like, you set that up so much in the beginning. Like, it's going to be this fake documentary and then mockumentary. You set that up and then you keep breaking it. And I'm like, well, then why did you set it up like that in the first place? But then you keep breaking your rules. And like the rest of the film is not creepy or scary. And the story wasn't... After the first 15-20 minutes, the story kind of stalled. You're kind of just waiting. They talk to the psychic. He hears a name. Talks to the stepdad, says it's all BS. Talk to this girl, which you could tell from the get-go something's off with her, where she keeps looking at the camera and goes, hey, I know you guy, we've met before, pretty much, hey. So you already know what's going on, you already know what's happening. You can already tell this lead guy did something. With how many times, like a dozen times, like he mentioned, what did you sacrifice to get here? What did you sacrifice to get here? Hey, what did you sacrifice to get here? Thanks for telling me for the 5th time. I get it. He made a deal with the devil, right? It's called Late Night with the Devil. The devil's going to collect this guy made a deal. They did that type of thing like a dozen Tales from the Crypt and Twilight Zone episodes. One other stuff. Along a ton of other movies. And the ending tries to be David Lynch, but I don't think worked the best. So, I mean, it's okay, but I would never see... There's other films I liked in that... The Taking of Deborah Logan, Butterfly Kisses, Savage Land, The Tunnel. There's other films in that direction that I enjoyed a lot more than this. So, I think it's okay at best, but... No one's going to remember this film in a year. Mark my words. Well, okay, it can never be truly no one. Okay, the mass majority of people will now remember this film within a year. And then the other two was Sting and Frogman. Sting I thought was okay. It was a killer alien spider movie. I liked the way it was shot with the camera work, even the opening credits where a little spider is crawling around this dollhouse and the director has the camera going all through the dollhouse and it's kind of foreshadowing how it's going to feed and get much bigger. So all this little tiny spider is big with the furniture of the dollhouse. And it's going to eventually get that big in the real world with the real furniture, the real house on the state's apartment building. The effects were not bad for a film that, didn't have the biggest budget. It has some interesting shots, but the script and the characters needed work. I did not mind the stepdad, who was the fixer of the building, and I felt sorry for him. The big mistake was they made the lead little girl, her acting was not the problem, but they made her too unlikable. I think that could ruin the film a lot for people, where this girl's a brat, she's a meanie head, and people are like, I'd be fine if this character died. I think that was the big mistake the film made. Granted, I still saw more into it than other people did. I appreciate the camera, like I said, the camera work and some of the filmmaking, and the concept is my kind of concept. I love those creature feature, big animal attack movies. And again, I think it's better made than some films of this type, but the script and the characters need a lot of work. A lot of work. So at best for me, it was like a 3 out of 5 star movie. I could see people giving it lower, but again, I didn't mind the film. And the horror film I liked the most was Frogman, which was a found footage movie, which I'm always intrigued with found footage films. Granted, 90% of them, well, 95% of them, well, 98% of them suck. But the 2% really, I get hooked into. I know this sounds strange. Blair Witch Project, The Tunnel, Butterfly Kisses, and that includes like fake documentaries as well. I don't know, just it's still an interesting format to tell a story. When it's done interesting enough for me, I can get sucked in and live vicariously through the characters or suspend my disbelief and go along with the ride it's showcasing. And this one, I thought the acting was better than usual. There is a sense of humor. I mean, it's a Frogman. They make fun of the concept, at least the other characters. The lead character is adamant because they saw it, but the other characters make fun of it. So it does have a sense of humor. And I thought the 3 actors actually did a decent job, acting-wise, which is not always the case in these movies, these type of movies, the acting to be decent. So I grew to not mind the characters. Like I said, I keep repeating, there is a sense of humor to it, which works. And then it goes to some weird practical effects schlockness in the third act, which I did appreciate and had some fun with. And it stuck with that a guy's using a camera from the 90s and it looks like it. I appreciate the look of it. And it did break Late Night with the Devil. I complained it did this. It does break its format, but at the very, very end only, and I get why they did it. I get why they did it, so it didn't bother me as much, and then they only did it once at the very end, so I'm like, okay. And apparently there's going to be a sequel. I looked up, apparently there's going to be a sequel. I'd be curious about it because I like the first one. So, I'd be curious about it. I know not everybody likes the film, that's fine. But again, I can only speak for myself. When the best horror film I've seen this year was fucking Fraud Man, Frogger, Fraud Legs, Fraud Man, that's a problem. I don't consider that a golden year for horror or one of the best in recent years. I do not think that or feel it. I don't want to feel that. I don't want to feel clammy hands on my nuts. I don't want to feel a finger up my anal cavity. I'm not singing Moon River. I don't want to feel it in my ears. I don't want any wet willies. I don't want to feel it in my mouth. I don't want any stiff dickies. I don't feel that at all. I don't believe in... we agree, disagree to Masi. I'll put it that way. I did nothing wrong with disagreeing. It's fun. Debates are fun. Sometimes I say that in the comments. I ask questions. I think, understandably, some people take it the wrong way, like I'm mad at them. I'm like, no, I'm not mad. I like engaging in conversations. That's what we used to do back in the day. What the fuck? How you think that was? No, what about this one? What are you doing? It was like I looked at Sister and Neighbor. Some of the more fun episodes was when they were arguing with each other. But I mean, if I look at like horror films of recent years, that's why I'm trying to open my phone. I should have had this written down. If I look at horror films of 2023, what came out? Once my phone lets me, thank you. It's like it knows I'm going to get an answer and doesn't want me to see it. 2023 horror films. Don't get me wrong, we had some bad ones there too. But, like Evil Dead Rise and Exorcist Believer. Thanksgiving I enjoyed. Saw X I did not mind. I actually like The Pope's Exorcist because I like Russell Crowe's performance. VHS 85 was actually one of the better entries of that franchise, in my opinion. I actually quite liked that one. They said Thanksgiving. Not to the Cabin, I mean, I didn't think it was the worst film. Especially considering who directed it. I have issues with it, but I thought Dave Bautista did a really good job in that. When Evil Lurks, I didn't see that one. But even just with like The Pope's Exorcist and VHS 85 and what was the one I said? Thanksgiving, I will put that above this year. At least so far. 2022 horror films. Sorry, this weird thing. Sick, I did not mind. I did not mind Sick. God, I know people did not like Dope. I liked that one. And she thought that was pretty decent. When did Willy's Wonderland come out? I know that came out. Maybe it was earlier. But yeah, let me go to this. Alright. Sorry, I know this is going too long, but bear with me. Let's see. Day Shift. I mean, I know it's an action film, but it's about that. I had a better time with that movie about vampires than Abigail. So the fact Day Shift came out, that already is better than this year. Day Shift. But yeah, Day Shift. Nope, I liked. Maiden. I know some people like Maiden. They're wrong. No, I'm just. I know the guys at Dead Pit like Maiden. My bullshit. Nah, I'm just kidding. I don't like Maiden, but if people like it, that's fine. I don't. Doesn't matter. The Menu. I don't think The Menu is horror, but it's on this list. I like the movie though. It's a pretty decent film. The Menu. Again, this might not even have all of them on there. I forgot what year Willy's Wonderland came up. I like that one. Some people say The Menu's a horror. Again, I liked it. Anyway. I mean, as you tell, I mean, it has not been the best time for horror. At least in my opinion. I know people disagree, but I'd probably say those were better than this year. And it's not getting any better. I don't see it getting any better. That's just me. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.